client. I just sold you 5 waterfront Glengarry farms.
These are the big screen masters of language disaster.
Oh, read it, please. To Wang Fu, thanks for everything. Julie Newmar. Who was Wang Fu?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies with bad titles.
I guess I just need to deal with it, you know? Face the fear and the guilt. Finally say his name.
For this list, we're not necessarily looking at the best movies with bad titles, but rather a group of films with downright horrible names. Brace yourself.
Oi, mate! I think there's something wrong with your suit. Yeah, there's a dead guy in it.
Number 10, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
I know what you did last summer.
In 1997, the horror film I Know What You Did Last Summer slashed away at the box office. And just 1 year later, producers decided to recycle the formula by adding one extra word to the title. While the plot of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is supposed to focus on the agonizing memories of Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, the sequel seemed to highlight her boobs more than anything else. Moviegoers couldn't necessarily remember what the film was about, but they remembered J-Love's bangin' bikini bod. And that, my friends, is how movies are made.
Just don't now welcome anymore. Don't have the lyrics. Hold on. It's him.
Number 9, Glengarry, Glen Ross.
Remember when we were selling Glen Ross farms?
This film was named after 2 fictional real estate developments in Chicago, but sounds more like a fictional US president.
What is that? Florida. Glengarry Highlands. Florida. Bullshit.
Al Pacino and Alec Baldwin star as screaming salesmen with nifty catchphrases. However, the cryptic title had moviegoers searching for something a little more alluring.
A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Glengarry Glen Ross failed miserably at the box office, and the title seems more appropriate for a Ron Burgundy warm-up line or perhaps a replacement for Brian Fontana's Sex Panther cologne.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep, it's made with bits of real panther.
Number 8, Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd.
Somebody chipped my tooth. How do you think I feel? Someone bit me in the forehead.
As the sequel to the 1994 classic comedy Dumb and Dumber, this Troy Miller flick was hilariously awful.
Harry, my mouth is gone.
To make matters worse, the filmmaker's attempt at a humorous title was perhaps more disturbing than the film itself. Dumb and Dumberer went on to earn Golden Raspberry nominations for Worst Screenplay, Worst Remake or Sequel, and Worst Screen Couple.
Can you do that? Oh, yeah, Harry. He can.
Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd? Just imagine, a group of actual human beings once brainstormed and decided this title was the perfect fit.
Harry! Oh! Harry! Oh, you gotta look both ways, buddy.
Number 7, The Chumscrubber.
The Chumscrubber.
Why did this $10 million box office bomb make only $350,000? Maybe because Americans thought The Chumscrubber was a foreign movie with subtitles.
I became the Chumscrubber.
When Ari Posen's ensemble flick hit theaters in 2005, the strange title distracted from the central theme of teenage drug use, and not even the magnetic power of Camille Bell could save the awkwardly named film.
Thank you for keeping it interesting for me. It's definitely not the usual thing.
Decades from now, the Chumscrubber will unfortunately and incorrectly be most likely identified with an early 21st century cleaning device.
And this time I will not be ignored. I am the Chumscrubber. Chumscrubber. Chumscrubber.
Number 6, Martha Marcy May Marlene.
Martha. You look like a Marcy May.
Marcy was my grandmother's name.
This title sounds more like a quadruple word score in Scrabble rather than a film about a Catskill Mountains cult.
But that has nothing to do with Martha.
While critics praised the performances and direction of Martha Marcy May Marlene, the overbearing name caused some movie buffs to panic at the box office and choose a more accessible film like Hugo or The Artist. Then again, a multitude of middle-aged moviegoers simply confused the title with someone looking for their kids.
Marcy! Marcy May! Where you going?
Seems like only the brave saw this movie. Only the brave.
Can I help you? Marlene Lewis. What's your last name, Jane?
Number 5. The Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Port of Call, still New Orleans.
Although a story about a troubled New Orleans police sergeant looks good on paper, it's never a good idea to include the word bad in the title of a Nicolas Cage film.
Are you alright?
Sometimes I have bad days.
Hollywood executives failed to embrace this concept in 2009 and even added a subtitle more suitable for a Saturday night adult flick.
You like these boots, don't you?
You got somebody on you, you know that.
Despite the inclusion of Eva Mendes and outstanding critic reviews, The Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans made little money because most consumers probably believed the film was a PlayStation 3 video game.
Shoot him again.
What for?
His soul's still dancing.
Number 4. To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
Oh, read it, please. To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Back in the pre-internet days of 1995, films about road-tripping drag queens weren't as popular, and so producers had to make some noise.
What do you mean, be a drag queen? I am a drag queen.
Oh, child, no. You would simply put a boy in a dress.
Unfortunately, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar was possibly more often confused with a personal ad from a local newspaper. The title actually refers to an autographed photo of the former Catwoman actress, but a world of ADD film fanatics stopped reading at everything.
It's Julie Newmar. Oh, God, I always thought she was so statuesque.
Some may have even mistakenly confused this Patrick Swayze flick with softcore pornography. Here's our note for the director. To Beeban Kidron, thanks for everything, Mojoholics. Number 3, Quantum of Solace.
I'm still not sure that the Tiara project is the best use of Quantum's time.
James Bond himself, also known as Daniel Craig, struggled to embrace the title of this Mark Forster flick, along with legions of puzzled fans.
I answered your questions. I told you what you wanted to know about Quantum.
Yes, you did.
While the famous action hero kicks plenty of ass in Quantum of Solace, the title probably only had Star Trek fans drooling and everybody else scratching their heads.
What the hell is this?
What exactly does the title mean, you ask?
That's not important. My orders are to turn you around and put you on the first plane back to London.
Doesn't matter. The producers hauled in over $500 million, laughed hysterically all the way to the bank, and swam together in a pool of champagne.
You just cost me quite a bit of money, darling.
You can't put a price on integrity.
I can try.
Number 2, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Cops.
While the title of a movie sequel traditionally includes the number 2, no one had ever dreamed of adding a second numeral when this cinematic explosion dropped in 2003.
All right, let the party begin. Let's go.
After the enormous success of The Fast and the Furious, producers employed a classic play on words to come up with the name, and hungry action fans ate it up.
It's a scramble, baby! A big one!
So what if Too Fast, Too Furious sounded like it was decided over lunch? The franchise's second installment earned over $200 million, faster than Hollywood execs could say, "I'll have a California roll."
3 bags in 1 car, huh?
It was fast, and most agreed that it was furious. It was too fast, too furious. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable, or in this case, dishonorable, mentions.
Murder! Coward!
And is that gonna help the Huckabee's image? Yes. Does it help me? Yes.
It's Gili, by the way. What? My name is pronounced Gili. It rhymes with really. Is that right? That's so. Yeah.
My name, Clarice Precious Jones. I go by Precious.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Number 1. The Hottie and the Nottie.
In order to gain access to the hottie, the naughty must be appeased.
This romantic comedy is a true American treasure. At least in the sense that it's a buried American treasure that nobody's ever seen.
June has a lot of problems with hair removal. I have sensitive skin.
Paris Hilton and Joel David Moore star in a classic story of unrequited love. And most agree that its cutesy title likely came from a 12-year-old girl.
Nate thinks he can fix up the naughty.
It wouldn't come as a surprise if snobby cinephiles refused to acknowledge Tom Putnam's film by its given name, while others seem simply afraid of this cinematic monster returning to conversation.
I know. I feel the same way.
Yeah?
The Hottie and the Nottie may ultimately become a cult favorite, but this cheap ticket to Paris is ultimately lost in translation.
I think that a life without orgasms is like a world without flowers.
Do you agree with our list? What movie title confused, angered, or annoyed you? For more mind-blowing top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Let's go!